Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Powerful Man Show. I am your host, Doug Holt, with my co-host, none other than Ryan Peach. How you doing, brother?
Man, I'm so good. How are you?
Good, good. Well, this almost didn't happen, Ryan, because you were on a call with the gentleman. What Ryan does for the movement, for those that don't know, Ryan is first and foremost a graduate of the activation method, the Alpha Reset, and the Brotherhood. And he's come on to as an advisor to help the men who are interested in going into the activation method and just answer questions and make sure it's a good fit for us and a good fit for them.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, it's awesome. It's such a cool journey to be on with these guys where I'm literally been in their shoes. And so like they're just talking and I'm like, yep, I get it. Yep, I get it. Yep, I get it. And just now being on the other side of it. And when I get to hear from these guys 7-8 weeks later, it just, man, it fuels my engines.
Oh, it's awesome. Well, the reason this podcast almost didn't happen is because you were on a call and it ran a little bit over going through. So I'm glad we had the opportunity to do so. What was going on with that guy? Don't give up his name or its particular so we don't identify him. But I think it's helpful for some of the other guys listening to this to hear what other men are going through.
Yeah. So for him, honestly, I hear this quite a lot is his situation was business owner, but like a lot of guys came through COVID and it's been really tough, right? Trying to, a lot of guys are now, I was working 10 hours a day. Now I've been working 15 just to keep the doors open. Right. And now I've gone through all of this and his wife was starting to talk to other men, right? She was getting on dating sites and she was looking at other options, which sucks. And, his biggest concern was, listen, I'm not like one of those business owners that I'm pulling in $100K a month. I don't just have piles of money laying around to try to work on this. And I understand all of that. And what was really cool for him was for him to be able to see what it would cost him if he didn't make a decision to invest in himself and in his marriage to solve this.
Yeah. And that's what a lot of guys, I know for myself, Ryan, when I was going through it with my wife, I was in a similar situation, right? And when things go tough in your marriage, they seem to go tough in your business at the same time, right? It's very rarely, and it does happen, but it's very rare that all of a sudden your business takes off for a long duration of time and things are going bad at home. They seem to go hand in hand. And I remember when I was first looking at solving my situation, that powerful man didn't exist. And I was looking at coaches and mentors or anybody that could help me get out of it. And what I realized is I didn't have the funds, right? I wasn't making and pulling home enough money. And that's when a mentor, business mentor of mine, someone totally outside of this, kind of got wind of what was going on and said, Doug, look, your bank account hasn't changed. When you make more money, you spend more money. When you make less money, it's like you can afford to do whatever you want to. You're an entrepreneur. You just need to get creative.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, one of the best parts of working with entrepreneurs is their creativity, right? Yes. And so that's where we got into with this guy, which I've done with a lot of other guys, right? Is like, cool, stop telling me what you don't have. Tell me what you do have, right? What do you have access to? And these guys, goodness, you can tap into lines of credit. Guys have sold trucks, cars, houses, all of that because and guys, only if this speaks to you. If it doesn't, that's fine. But for a lot of the guys, this is everything. This is the missing piece to happiness, to fulfillment. They're like, listen, yeah, I'm making money in my business. Don't care about it. I don't work as hard because I'm not having a great relationship with my wife. So what does it matter? I'm trying to provide a life for us. And it's clearly not working, right? I'm getting ready to lose my kids. Like, I don't give a crap about my business. And so for these guys, like if that's you, right, then you get to ask different questions, right? If my marriage is that missing piece to everything, if it is happiness and joy and fulfillment, then what are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to get creative on in order to be able to save that thing that you believe is the most important thing to save?
Yeah. I think what's interesting about that, Ryan, is a couple things. And I know we had this conversation when we did the Alpha Reboot, which was a training we did for the guys that are in the Brotherhood. And we opened the doors up originally to alumni for one day. But the guys in the Brotherhood are successful businessmen. And, from the outside, these guys are all multimillionaires. But what happened was, which obviously it happens a lot within the Brotherhood, especially, but men, kind of take off the kimono, right, so to speak, and reveal everything. And some of the guys hadn't been paid in 12 months and they just didn't have the income. They were talking to a specific guy who was having this issue. And so they started to share, which is so awesome about the Brotherhood, right? So this guy got clarity. But what a couple of the guys said, look, I couldn't afford the program, but I also realized I really couldn't afford not to do it. And, my divorce, my wife would have taken half and I would have been destitute, right? And miserable. But I had to find a way to do this. And a lot of guys run it through their business. Now, I know that's what I did, because it was tax advantaged for me. And again, I'm not a tax guy at all, but my accountant let me run it through as professional development. I know in the UK and the United States, there's a lot of the guys do it that way.
Yeah. And, in talking to these guys, like they look at this from a place of where they are. Right. Yep. Well, right now, my wife isn't talking to me. Right now, my wife, anytime I try to do anything, my wife tells me it's never good enough. I don't know if this is going to work. So how can you expect me to invest money into something that I know might not work? Yeah. Because it's not worked for so long. And my question to them always is like, cool. So did you know that your business was going to be successful when you started it? No. Yeah. Cool. You didn't know that. Why did you start it?
Yep.
Well, because I thought it was the right thing to do. Oh, cool. So do you think that this is the right thing to do?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Right. And so I'm like, why are you approaching this any other way than you do every other area of your life? And so again, I get the situations that guys tend to find themselves in. It's awful. It's not been a month or two. It's been a year or two or more of this. I understand that. But you've been living in a cycle of trying the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result, which we all know is insanity. And so I get that it's scary. I get that it's hard. And I get that it may not work. But if you continue to do what you've always done, it's definitely not going to work. Mm-hmm. And so get to change. You get to take radical action, whether it's this program or doing something else. Stop trying to understand and have 100% certainty around what you're doing, because you've never had that. Anything big in your life, you've never been 100% certain on it. You just felt it was right. And then you jumped and figured it out on the way down.
Yeah. And I think that's important too. And guys, you need to understand that, at the Powerful Man, like, we don't accept everybody. There's only spots for 9 guys per group. And so we just, we recommend you do something. You don't have to do this program, but do something for your marriage to go through and to save that, or whatever you're going through. If it's business, you got to do business coaching, et cetera. But you can't get out of your own way. And I understand, Ryan, there's 2 biggest triggers, right? For any of us, right? It's relationships and finances are the biggest triggers that men have. And so when your relationship is triggered, it's not working, it's destitute. When your wife, is talking to other men, and this guy at least knew that she was. A lot of guys find out way later that their wives were either talking or visiting other guys that they had no idea. So when you find that's going on, it's easy to get in scarcity mode and freaking out and going protecting and hiding assets. And guys do all kinds of things to move money around to protect themselves. But the truth of the matter is, just like anything in life, you have to push forward, right? You have to go aggressively in a forward direction towards your goals and your dreams. Otherwise, you're going to be caught stagnated and kind of in that, the worst place to be in business, right? Is that holding pattern of not knowing what to do or making a decision. It's the same thing in your relationship.
It's the same exact thing. That's exactly right. When you stop trying new things, that is the definition of failure for businesses, for relationships, for life growth, for health growth, all of that, right? Think about like going to the gym, right? I want to get healthy. I want to lose that 50 pounds. And then you go to the gym the first 3 weeks and you lose 10 pounds. Yep. Right. And you're like, oh, I'm on the track. And then everybody hits that plateau where your body adjusts. Right. And now instead of over the next 3 weeks, losing 10 more pounds, you maybe lose 2, right? So now you're down 12 pounds, but you stop, right? Well, now it's not working. And so then we go back home and we're like, man, I really wish I could lose that weight. Man, I would love to lose that weight. And then you sit there, you don't do anything, you don't make any changes. And what do? You put on 15 pounds, 20 pounds, and you're like, I have no idea how I got here. It's bull. You know exactly how you got here.
Yep.
You stopped trying to pursue your health. And in this, when you plow into your business and stop focusing on your wife and just hope that things will change, you're just sitting in that place of no man's land where you're waiting for her to decide whether she's just going to change and be that wife that you want her to be, or if she's going to tell you that she's done.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you, it's not going to be the first one.
Never.
Never once has happened in the thousands of men we talk to as their wife miraculously just changed.
It's changed. Yeah, that's exactly right. And so that's what we don't want for these guys, is to live in this place of hope, but not taking any action. Like, you're going to be disappointed, and you're a whole lot closer to a solution than you think. You've just got to get moving. And that is always the hardest part. But when you start to move, you can begin to get traction. And when you start to see things turn around, then you commit, right? Then you lose the 10 pounds, and then you're pumped about the 2 pounds, and then you're pumped about the 3 pounds. But you just got to keep moving.
Yeah. So guys, listen to what we're talking about here. We didn't have a plan really coming into this, because we didn't know if Ryan was going to be able to jump on. But what we're talking about here is what you're seeing in your home is your wife has taken over the leadership role in the house, right? With the kids, probably with the house things. She's taken over that leadership role, and you've become deactivated, is what we call it, right? You've become the nice guy. You're trying to please her and it's not working. So what you need to do is have a new directive. And part of that is taking massive action and decisions, right? That's what a leader does. Now, again, you do not have to do the activation method, but obviously we think it's the best because of the triad connection and everything else. But the reason this works, guys, is when you take action, whether it be the activation method, another course, or what have you, you're then reclaiming the leadership role within your own life, and you're showcasing the leadership role within your relationship. And so this is where it gets really, really interesting, depending on your classic values, right? You as the man, the masculine energy within the home, this is how your wife envisioned it when you got married, right? This is typical, right? This is just natural and innate. Is she wanted you to take charge. She wanted you to take that leadership role. She wants to see your stock in the relationship going up, not stagnating, and not going down, and not waiting for her to make a decision for you. That's not a leader. A leader doesn't sit around and wait for someone to make a decision for them. A leader steps in the midst of fear, right? And I get it's scary. I was scared. It took me a while to step up, right? But that's courage. You do it anyway, right? And you can look at how this works. The reason we do this for business owners only is because the system was designed for business owners. And we have hundreds of testimonials. Ryan Peach right here is one of the testimonials of somebody who did it, so much so that you left your profession just to advise other guys because it changed your life. So guys, you really want to do this because you don't want to get stuck in that no man's land of being stagnant and not knowing what to do. And, going to your divorce attorney or going to another session of therapy, which is just going to cause you to look at the past. And when you're driving forward, whether it be in business or relationships or health, and you're looking in the rear view mirror, you're just going to crash and hit the tree, and it's not going to work.
That's right. That's right. That's so good, because you're exactly right that I get, for a lot of these guys, you're stagnant because all you are looking at is the past, right? I tried this. I read this book. We read the 5 love languages. We did this. I bought her this. I took her on a vacation. I've done all of these things and none of it has worked. And that's all true. And it's because that's not what works.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so again, when you're doing the wrong things, even if you do them a lot, you're still doing them wrong. And so just understanding, guys, that again, when I came into the activation method, it was like the first 3 weeks, I was like, what the hell are these guys talking about? Like, why does an alpha rise and shine and an alpha decompression? Why does that matter? Right. And in doing those things and, shadow stickman and all of that, I began to see changes in my wife without me trying to change my wife, because there's so much complexity here. Just like when you start your own business, you think you know how it's going to go. And then you're like, oh, this is actually how it goes. And you learn as you go. It's the same thing here. And the difference in starting your business on your own and grueling through is here you've got guys that are a little bit further ahead of you that are turning around and saying, no, dude, keep coming. Keep coming. You're doing right. You're good. You're good. And that's what fuels that traction. You're no longer alone. I had a guy last week that chose to continue with us for another 12 months, which is really exciting. And he said, Ryan, it's like standing at the edge of the cliff, and it's like you've got this bridge it's getting smaller and it's getting smaller, and you're going to fall off. It's like it's inevitable. Can't go backwards. You're stuck. It's going to fall. And he's like, and you have two choices. You can either stand there stagnant and you can just let it go away, let the bridge fall away, and then you fall. And then maybe you're lucky, one of those like 1%, 1% of 1% that hits the ground and survives. Or you can choose to pick up the parachute, put it on, and jump off the cliff. And he's like, and what's great about jumping off with you guys is when I jump off, there's 100 guys around me that are already in the air. So if I have trouble getting my chute open, I can't get the cord, all those guys rally around me and they're like, don't worry, dude, we got you. Like, that's the difference.
Well, I got chills, man. That's such a cool analogy. As you know, Ryan, I left a well-paying career to do this because this is legacy work for me, just helping guys like you, guys like me, guys like that are listening to this right now. And it is really that rallying cry that goes through there. The guys help each other in the relationships, fatherhood, business, health. We have a health challenge going on. We talk about, saw a great video posted up there today. And it really is just solid guys that pass what we call the beer test, right? These are real business owners out there, and they're kind of guys that you would go get a beer with. They're really good guys. I love that parachute analogy because look, it's scary because you don't know if the marriage is going to get saved. There's a variable in there that's a wild card, and it's called your wife. And you don't know what you can do. But what you do know is that if you invest in yourself and you better yourself as a man, if your wife stays, right, which happens more often than not, your wife stays, now you're going to have a solid friggin' marriage that you've always wanted. If she leaves, you're a better man. And the next woman who comes along, right, is going to be going, oh my gosh, this is a guy that I've just read about and dreamed about, because you're going to have the skill sets.
That's right. And your kids get to see that, right? Those kids get to see it's everything, right? Like you get to pass on the legacy of being that father that you've always wanted to be for those kids. And your daughter, even though your marriage may not work, she's able to see like, that's the kind of guy that I want to marry. And so you change the trajectory of her life or your son's life because he's going to emulate what you do. So it's legacy. Everything you do within this program is legacy work.
It really is, man. And people ask sometimes, like, how is the movement? We call the Powerful Man the movement. All our courses, alumni. How is it growing so fast? Like, how are you guys? It's just we get results. That's all there is to it. The results speak for themselves. I mean, if you look at any of the testimonials, like you weren't the type of guy that jumps on camera and shares his life story originally, right? But guys do it because they're like, hey, I want the former me, the old me, to see this till they get started earlier, right? Hey, this is your, one destination, two paths we could talk about. I'm going on a little sidetrack here, but you can take one path, which is the grind it out, hustle it out, hope it works, path. And there's another path, which is smooth and easy. And that smooth and easy path is where a lot of successful men end up, right? That's why they've got successful. And what we talk about in the Powerful Man is on the smooth and easy path, there's constantly men reaching their arm across to offer guidance and say, hey, look, it's better over here. All of us have encountered these guys. It could be in business, a mentor we ran into who gives us advice or whoever it may be. But in the Powerful Man, these are our men going, hey, look, I want to do a testimonial video and just share my experience to that. And that's a guy reaching a hand across and saying, hey, it's better over here.
That's right. That's right. And you only get that when you actually get the result. Right. And that's what I love about these guys. And that's what I love about, that's why I left everything that I did to come do this, because being able to meet a guy who is just like the guy I just talked to, who's broken and like, I see no way that this can possibly ever be saved, to 8 weeks later, wow.
Yeah.
Like, how did I get here? And I'm like, it's only been 8 weeks. What do you think might be possible in the next 12 months, in the next 24 months? Or like, don't get it twisted. You just begun.
Yeah.
That's like I said, that is oxygen. That gets my blood going for sure.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. Well, Ryan, thank you so much, man, for all the work you do on behalf of the guys that are out there. It's just absolutely amazing. You really go to bat for guys. Guys, just so you know, Ryan takes calls from guys on the weekends, at night. He doesn't have to. It's just his choice, and his family supports him, which is amazing. So thank your beautiful wife and your kids for us. Guys, look, if you're listening to this and any of this resonates what Ryan's talking about, Ryan is one of our advisors. You can jump on a call with somebody, just chit chat with them, see if it's the right fit. We're also quite honestly interviewing you to see if it's the right fit, because this isn't for everybody. Right? Our programs get results, but you need to put in the work. We can't do the push-ups for you, as we often say. You got to do the actual work. We just guide you through it to make it easy. But jump on a call with Ryan. Reach out to him. He's active in the Facebook community as well as on LinkedIn. So a lot of people reach out to him in both of those places. And just, Ryan, you're just a solid guy. You pass the beer test every time I talk to you. So look forward to seeing you soon, man.
Cool if I give these guys a challenge.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, awesome. So guys, here's what I want you to do. And then you get bonus points for doing the second part. Okay. First part is I want you to get your phone out, because I'm guessing you probably listen to this on your phone. So don't lie to me and tell me you don't have it. I want to get out, open up your camera, and I want you to shoot a video of yourself. Right. And if you agree with anything that we've said in here, that you get to make changes, I want you to do a video to yourself, telling yourself that I am committed today to doing something different to get a different result in my marriage. That's it. Okay. That's what I want you to now. Bonus points. Go to the Facebook page, post that in our Powerful Man page, and tag me in it. Because if you do, I'll see it and we can start talking, which would be great. But save it for yourself, because what's going to happen if you're anything like me, a month from now, 2 months from now, you're going to forget you did that, and you're going to be scrolling through your photos and you're going to find that video. And it'll be a really big gut check time for you, because you'll be able to see, did I make the changes or did I not? Woo. And if you haven't, what are the results? And if you have, what are the results?
I love it, man. Guys, step up to this challenge, right? The first one, easy. You just film it. You don't have to share it with anybody. There's no risk, what have you. And what I would say even is, you can set a timer. All you guys have project management, right? Of some sort. Set something in whatever project management to go back and look at the video. And I love the bonus points. Yeah, put it in the Facebook group, not the page, but the group, because that's a private group. So no one else except for other guys like you will be able to ever see it. And tag Mr. Ryan Peach in there. What a fantastic challenge, guys. I challenge you to step up to this too. That'll be fantastic. Okay. Ryan, like I said, man, as always, I love talking to you. We'll get you back here again on the Powerful Man Show.
Awesome, dude. See you soon.
Have a great week, guys. And as always, take some massive action. Step up to what Ryan's challenging you to do. Don't just talk about it. Don't just think about it and say you're going to do something. Actually take the action, right? These small action steps build on each other. And that's where discipline and leadership comes in. So guys, make it an amazing week. We'll see you next time on the Powerful Man Show.